Welcome to the Recycling Project's Action Series. This isn't about boring lectures or doom and gloom stats. It's about action, real steps that you can take right now to shrink your trash, recycle smarter, and even make a little money while you're at it. So here's what's coming your way. First, we'll tackle the landfill and discover why so much of what we throw away does not belong there in the first place. Then, we'll bust the myths about recycling, what goes in, what definitely doesn't, and why it matters. Then you'll learn the quick prep tricks that make recycling actually work. No clutter, no chaos. Next, we'll flip the script and show you how your junk can actually be worth cash. And finally, we'll demystify composting so you can turn scraps into soil instead of into methane. Every module gives you tools to go from just knowing about sustainability to actually doing it, because big change starts with small, smart actions. If you're ready, let's get started with Module 1 and how to avoid the landfill. The last stop. What to do before the landfill. Action Series Module 1. Every item you throw away had a cost. It used materials, energy, and labor to exist. Sending it to a landfill should be the very last resort, not the first instinct. This class is not about guilt, it's about options. What can you do with something that you can't recycle or donate and don't want sitting around your house? There's always a few tricks. We have a module later on this section on how to make money on your trash, so this covers the other stuff. So why does this matter? Well, let's start with environmental impact. Landfills are not just ugly. They leak chemicals, create methane, they take up land that should be used for something better. And landfills do not make waste disappear, they just bury it. So every item that you keep out of a landfill means less methane gas, less leachate, the toxic liquid runoff, and less land being sacrificed for garbage storage. Avoiding the landfill protects air, water, and future space that we really need. Then we have consumer influence. The more we show demand for creative reuse and repair programs, the more companies and cities will invest in them. When we extend the life of our stuff, we reduce the demand for constant manufacturing. And when enough people show an interest in reuse and repair, companies start offering more take-back programs, less disposable packaging, and better product design. Then we have resource respect. Even cheap items come from somewhere. Trees, oil, water, and human effort. Tossing them wastes all of that. Nothing you own is truly cheap. Even the simplest item requires water, energy, raw materials, and labor to exist. Getting one more use out of it honors those resources instead of wasting them after just one round. Next, personal empowerment. Knowing how to get one more use out of something makes you feel capable instead of stuck. Knowing what to do with trash puts you in control instead of feeling stuck with a bin of guilt. Each small save provides you with more options and more power than you may have thought. Then we have mental load. Landfill guilt is real. Having a system for last stop items gives you a clear answer instead of nagging uncertainty. Throwing something out often leaves that nagging thought, should I have tried harder? Having a clear system for last stop items removes that stress. You know you've done your part and you can move on without second guessing. The top 4 before the bin options. Before you toss something in the trash, you've got at least one last chance to make use out of it. This class focuses on the top 4 universal options, the ones that work for almost everyone everywhere. There are hundreds of creative ways to avoid the landfill, but these 4 categories cover nearly all of them. Option 1, repurpose for practical use. Option 2, break it down for parts. Option 3, art, DIY, and kids projects. And option 4, specialty drop-off programs. Our goal isn't perfection. It's about building a quick, no-stress habit. Pause once, ask yourself what else could be done, and pick the simplest next step. That's it. Small, easy choices add up, because once it's garbage, it's permanently garbage. Before you turn something into trash, ask yourself, could it do one more job? So option 1, repurpose for practical use. Repurposing doesn't have to be crafty or complicated. It's often just using an item for something simple and practical. A jar becomes storage for screws or leftovers or even homemade salad dressing or flowers. A ripped t-shirt becomes a cleaning rag, an empty paper bag can become a bin liner, or a place to collect compost scraps. Even if you want to get really creative, almost anything can find a second life. Wax from old lid candles can be melted into a new one. Broken crayons can be melted into campfire starters. And sturdy containers can be turned into first aid kits, sewing kits, and toolboxes. The trick is to see trash as raw material, not as the end of the line. Once you build that habit, you'll start spotting opportunities everywhere. And what's one item that you might have thrown away this week that could have been used at least one more time? If it can hold, clean, cover, or protect something, it is not trash yet. Option 2. Break it down for parts. For example, cut up cardboard for drawer liners, remove buttons, zippers, and hardware before tossing old clothes in bags. Electronics, you can take batteries and cords out. Both are recyclable at depots, even if the device itself isn't. Even if the whole item isn't useful, its pieces might be. Zippers, buttons, elastic bands, Velcro strips can be salvaged from old clothes that are too worn to donate. Large cardboard boxes can be cut into liners, shipping pads, and weed barriers in the garden. Electronics often contain cords, batteries, and even metal parts that can be recycled separately. Breaking items down doesn't just save pieces that you can use, it often makes leftover trash smaller, cleaner, and safer for disposal. Plus, many depots accept individual materials like batteries or metal, even when they can't take the whole product. You don't have to know how to repurpose everything yourself. If you're unsure, search online. There are entire YouTube channels dedicated to hidden uses and salvaging tricks. So before you toss it, just ask yourself, are there any pieces here that might still be good? One broken thing just might be 5 useful parts. Option 3. Art, DIY, and kids projects. Some items you normally toss can become free supplies for arts, crafts, or simple DIY projects. Boxes can become forts, tubes become craft supplies, lids become paint palettes, and schools, daycares, and community centers often take clean materials for projects. For adults, you can turn things into organizers, seed starters, or decorative storage. You don't need to be an artist. Many schools, daycare centers, and community programs happily accept clean materials for projects. And even if you're not dropping them off, keeping a small creative bin at home means you always have something on hand for rainy day projects or quick fixes. What might be one thing that you've thrown out that could have been a free supply instead? If kids can glue it, paint it, or build with it, it's not garbage yet. Option 4. Specialty drop-off programs. Some things really don't belong in the landfill, but they also don't go in your regular recycling or compost bins. Batteries, textiles, electronics, styrofoam. Many towns have depots or events that take these hard-to-handle items. So quick rule, if it's dangerous, bulky, or electronic, there's probably a program for it. Dropping these items off keeps harmful chemicals out of the ground and often lets valuable items and materials like metals and plastics be recovered and reused. You don't have to figure it out all at once. Start with one item that you throw away often, look up where it belongs, and make it part of your routine. Many cities even post lists or maps online, and then there's grocery stores, hardware chains, and libraries that often have collection bins right by the door. Now let's get practical with a last stop system. Most people go straight from not using this to throw it out. But there is a step in the middle that saves a ton of waste, that pause. Step 1, make a small purgatory box. Just a name suggestion. For items that you think are for the landfill. Step 2, ask, can this be used once more, taken apart, donated, dropped off, given away? Step 3, if the answer is no after a week, only then toss it. A small purgatory box buys you time to think. It's amazing how often something you were about to toss ends up finding a purpose. Maybe a storage, a craft supply, a donation, or something you can sell or give away. The landfill should be the last stop, not the first reaction. Once you build this habit, you'll see trash less as a dead end and more as raw material, which is the most important mental shift.